That's the very first thing we hear from Arthur Fleck. Not a plea for help, not a hello, just a question, absolutely dripping with pain and confusion. It's the perfect way to drop us right into the mind of a man on the edge, and into a screenplay that just masterfully builds a villain from the inside out. So let's see exactly how they did it. All right, so today we're diving deep into the screenplay for Joker. We're going to trace the script step by step to see how it takes this one man, Arthur Fleck, and meticulously transforms him into the agent of chaos we all know. We'll use the script's own structure as our roadmap. So where do you even start when you're creating the Joker? Well, the screenplay's answer is you start with a man who's basically invisible. Arthur Fleck is like a ghost floating through his own life. Things don't just happen around him, they happen to him. He's constantly on the receiving end of the world's cruelty, always being acted upon, never the one taking action. And right away, you see this huge, tragic gap. On one hand, you have what his mother, Penny, told him his purpose was, to bring laughter and joy to the world. But then you look at his actual, day-to-day reality. What is it? Getting ignored, getting beaten up in alleys, and struggling with a severe mental illness that society just has no time for. This massive canyon between who he wants to be and who he is, that's the central, heartbreaking conflict of the entire film. This line from his journal just gets right to the heart of his pain, doesn't it? See, it's not just the illness that's torturing him. It's the fact that the world expects him to just pretend it isn't there. He has to wear this mask of normalcy every single day, while inside there's a total storm raging. And that kind of pressure, well, it's bound to break a person. Just think about this. He's on seven different medications. And yet, the system is completely failing him. His plea to his social worker is so simple, so desperate. I just don't want to feel so bad anymore. He is totally and completely alone with his pain. So what happens when a man like this is pushed and pushed and pushed too far? And that question brings us to the first huge turning point. The screenplay itself calls this the moment the victim finally becomes an agent of his own. This isn't just another scene. This is the moment Arthur's passive existence completely shatters. For the very first time in his life, he isn't the one on the ground getting kicked. He's the one holding the weapon. And look at how fast it all happens. This is not a slow burn. It's a chain reaction, a set of dominoes falling one after the other. He's brutalized on the job, a coworker gives him a gun, that same coworker betrays him, which gets him fired, and it all leads to that subway car. He's cornered and being beaten again. Only this time is different. This time he pushes back. The screenplay doesn't frame this as an act of pure evil, it frames it as a breaking point. Now, the scene that follows has zero dialogue, but man, it says everything. In this grimy, disgusting public bathroom, Arthur doesn't panic. He doesn't run. He dances. The script literally says something is awakening inside of him. It's this huge psychological shift playing out physically right in front of us. The frightened victim is just gone. And in his place, a new, confident, and very dangerous person is being born. So, after he discovers this new power through violence, what's next? Well, the next stage in his transformation is the total demolition of his old self. The screenplay just takes a wrecking ball to every pillar of Arthur's identity, his mother, his father, his entire origin story, and reveals that his whole life has been built on a foundation of lies and abuse. This is the question that now drives the whole story. Arthur finds a letter his mother wrote to Thomas Wayne, and he starts to believe he might be the secret, illegitimate son of Gotham's most powerful man. And for just a second, you see this glimmer of hope. Maybe he could be someone. But the truth is so much darker. And this is where his fantasy collides with a brutal, horrific reality. His mother's story about a secret romance is completely shattered by the cold, hard facts in her file from Arkham State Hospital. The script reveals she wasn't some tragic lover. She was a severely ill woman who allowed terrible, terrible abuse to happen. And the details are just gut-wrenching. He wasn't Thomas Wayne's son. He was adopted. And he wasn't just neglected. He was abused by his mother's boyfriend, starved, and even found tied to a radiator with severe head trauma. This revelation just reframes everything. His condition, that uncontrollable laughter. You realize it's not just an illness. It's a scar. A physical scar from a past he never even knew he had. This line, which he says to his mother as she's dying, is the final break. He realizes the ultimate cosmic joke.
The one person he dedicated his entire life to caring for was the source of all his pain. And with that realization, Arthur Fleck, as a person, dies. His new philosophy is born. Nothing matters. Life isn't a tragedy at all. It's just a sick joke.
So what do you do when you realize your life is a comedy? You have to tell the final joke. The entire last act of the screenplay is Arthur's conscious performance. He's been invited onto the Murray Franklin show, the very stage he always fantasized about, and he's going to use it to deliver his one and only punchline to the entire world.
And there's the setup. Live on television, in full clown makeup, he turns his personal suffering into a public indictment. He's not Arthur Fleck anymore. He's a symbol. And he's asking a question on behalf of every single person who's ever been forgotten, ignored, and just thrown away by society. And there it is, the punchline. He shoots Murray Franklin in the head on live TV. It's the ultimate act of rebellion. He has fully transformed his personal tragedy into a public, horrifying comedy, cementing his new identity for all of Gotham to see. The Invisible Man is now absolutely impossible to ignore.
But a punchline doesn't just end with the telling, it has to land. And this one lands hard. This final section shows us the fallout, as Arthur's private, sick joke ignites a very public movement. It doesn't just end a life, it creates a symbol. This is his grand finale. He's pulled from the wreckage of a police car, and the rioters, all of them wearing masks in his image, they don't see a murderer, they see a savior. They anoint him their hero. And as he stands on the hood of that car and smears blood into a grotesque smile, he accepts their worship. For the first time in his entire life, he finally belongs.
The screenplay leaves us right back where it all might have started, Arkham. A doctor asks him what's so funny, and he just replies with that line. It's a final, chilling statement. Was everything we just saw the joke he was thinking of? Was it real, or was it all just a delusion cooked up in a padded cell? The script leaves us hanging with that ambiguity, forcing us to question the very nature of the punchline we just witnessed. He says you wouldn't get it because maybe, just maybe, there's nothing to get.